The SMC stages at Anglesey would mark the highly anticipated opening round of the 2025 Mini Rally Challenge, and a staggering entry of over 30 cars would start the event. Leading the way after the morning stages and having a mini adventure will be Mark Jones and Callum Craw. This was Mark's first rally on asphalt in the Mini, having only done the gravel rounds in the series last season, and it would also be the first rally full stop for co-driver Callum. A last-minute stand-in when Mark's usual co-driver was away on holiday. Just behind them will be Charlie Mathewson and Ian Bass, the two-time junior champions stepping up to the Minis this season as an ideal feeder from the junior series. They were going well on their championship debut. They'd get held up by some traffic on the stages and have a little overshoot themselves, but it would be second place at this stage. It hadn't always looked that way, however. David Burden gave us a glimpse of what might be to come on his Mini Rally Challenge debut, leading the way with Stephen Moyses before an exhaust issue forced retirement. For Jacob Neal and James Coots, it will be third place. And it was close as well. After 4 stages, there'd be just a single second between them and junior champion Mathewson ahead. John Day and Emma Cooper, meanwhile, start the day cautiously, but they put in some good times nevertheless to end the morning in 4th place overall, just 9 seconds off the Mini Rally Challenge podium positions. George Clark and Matthew Chapman were happy with their start to the day. They were enjoying the stages, putting in some impressive times. The competition this season starting to look close already as well, as we reach the end of stage 4 with George in 5th place and not far behind. And as if to prove a point, it was a time they shared with Tom and Sue Hind. With a new look car and a new spark to their rally adventures, they would be a good start for the pair, who were usually seen on the gravel, not the asphalt. They do catch a bit of rally traffic on the stages themselves, trying their best to get past, but that didn't always go down too well with Sue in the co-driver's seat. The gap back to 7th place David Ellis and Darren Wilson would be a little bigger. The biggest in the top of the results so far, in fact, but even that was only 22 seconds, which over 4 stages of competition and half an hour of driving was still a close fight by anybody's standard. 8 seconds back will be the man with the name above the door. Championship organiser Guy Butler, Thomas Marriott alongside. The unmistakable Mini going well and the pace increasing as the morning went on too. For Kyle Wilson and Mark Broadbent, it will be 9th place overall. They were close on the times as well, with just 2 seconds to find through the afternoon to gain a position and chased Butler down. And rounding out the top 10 will be Robert Fisher and Carrie Bates, themselves just a further 2 seconds down the road. With the top 10 being taken over by the R53 Supercharged Minis, it will be 12th place overall for Wesley Guilford and Andrew Millington, who take the early lead in the normally aspirated R50 category. Last year's R50 champions putting in some class-leading times, but a slight noise towards the end of the morning would need looking at in service and was causing some concern. One of the big characters in the Mini Rally Challenge, Owen Kuhl, with Matt Walker alongside, had been second in the R50s. The pair had fitted a new limited slip diff this season as well, but unfortunately on stage 3 there'd be a noise in the car. It turned out to be a broken diff. They'd be out for now and would return for Epping a few weeks later. So that left 2nd place in the R50s to Josh and John Harris. They were having an enjoyable day on the stages at Anglesey, with some great competition throughout both the category and the championship as a whole. With over 30 entries, it won't surprise you to know that we were welcoming some drivers and co-drivers to the Mini Rally Challenge for the first time. One of those, Andy Price and Adam Jones, and it's safe to say they were loving it. Their first time on Anglesey as well, so they take a little time to find their feet. But overall, they reported things were going well. 15th overall. And back to the R50s. 3rd place at the end of the morning stages would be Sven Grube with Alfie Element alongside. 13 seconds back from the 2nd place R50 crew up ahead. So with the morning complete and a suitably competitive day out on the stages so far here in the Mini Rally Challenge, here's how the leaderboards are shaping up. On to the afternoon stages then, and we'd lose Andy Price and Adam Jones, the exhaust manifold breaking on stage 7, the pair having to pull over. At least they got to enjoy some of the mini action from stage side while they awaited recovery. There was frustration for Wesley Guilford and Andrew Millington as well, a drop down the R50 and overall leaderboards. The noise they'd heard in the morning turned out to be an engine fault. They would continue to try and get a result, but they were losing time stage by stage, ending the event 4th in the category, 14th place overall, and a clear case of damage limitation. Despite the loss of the lead for Guilford, it would still be 3rd place for Sven Grube and Alfie Element, not gaining any positions in the class, but moving up the overall Mini Rally Challenge results into 13th by the end of the day. Josh and John Harris would lose a little time on the 5th stage of the day when the brakes locked so close to the end of the stage. They would get the car back to service, and a bunch of people clubbed in to help them get the problems sorted, including the previously retired Owen Kuehl, showing just what this championship is all about. They get the car back out with a temporary repair and get to the finish with 2nd place in the R50 category, albeit with a very spongy, soft brake pedal for the final stages and some beers to be bought afterwards, no doubt. It had been a great afternoon for Ben and Matthew Hearsey. They put in some strong times, moving the right way on both the class and overall Mini Rally Challenge leaderboards to end the opening round with the R50 class win. Not only that, but they move up to round out the top 10 overall as well. Previous 10th place crew Rob Fisher and Carrie Bates would gain a place, moving up to 9th. A strong end to the weekend for the pair. And indeed, it was a position gain for Kyle Wilson and Mark Broadbent. They'd move up from 9th into 8th place by the end of the rally. It had been a successful opening round for David Ellis and Darren Wilson, things remaining the same. They don't gain anything or lose it in the afternoon, consolidating that 7th place that they'd held since this morning's stages. There was drama for George Clark and Matthew Chapman though, who lose the brakes on the very last corner of stage 6, forcing them to have to put the car out into the tyre wall. They would get things sorted and get back out again on the stages for some damage limitation on the final stages of the day, eventually taking 6th place overall. Tom and Sue Hind had been using some old worn tyres for the morning stages. In his words, he's a cheap Scotsman. It would, however, become evident that new ones might be needed, so 2 were fitted to the car later in the rally, and it made a big difference to the times. He's already dug out the bagpipes to start busking and make sure that they can run some new ones at the future rounds of the Mini Rally Challenge. The close fight for the podium positions continued into the afternoon. Things wouldn't change though as far as 4th place goes. John Day and Emma Cooper keeping up with the crew ahead but unable to close the gap, having to settle for 4th place by the end of the rally. So that means that taking 3rd on the podium will be Jacob Neal and James Coots. They keep ahead and hold on to that podium position, and lying just 15 seconds back from 2nd place as well. There was some change up front though, 2nd place in the afternoon, changing from previous leaders Mark Jones and Callum Craw. They'd been somewhat surprised with that lead of the event, so they wouldn't be too disappointed to drop back into 2nd for the opening round. A win would have been great, but to be competitive on their first asphalt outing, especially being Callum's first ever rally, was a great sign for the season ahead. So that means the first names on the winners list this season are Charlie Mathewson and Ian Bass. It wasn't plain sailing. They ran out of brake pads on stage 6 and had to borrow some from Mark Jones to finish the rally. Just one of many things that makes this championship so good. Although Mark may regret helping Charlie to beat him this time out. So round 1 complete, the Mini Rally Challenge really living up to all the hype and expectation going into this season. Here's how the leaderboard shaped up at the end of the first round.
Charlie, Ian, it's been a good day's rallying for you here at Anglesey Circuit in the Mini Challenge. A win in the end by 7 seconds, you got to be happy with that?
Yeah, I'm really happy. To be fair, this morning didn't start out as we quite hoped. But then, yeah, just sort of found a mojo this afternoon and kept foot down and managed to be here, yeah.
Now, I'm used to seeing you guys in a slightly smaller, squarer vehicle. So this is obviously a step up for you guys now. You're moving into the Mini Rally Challenge and you're finding your feet already.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, we did Riponian for a bit of gravel. because I've never been on gravel before, and the East Riding is a bit of tarmac sort of learning. A test at Teesside last Tuesday, and then we're here. So we just sort of messed about with it today, changed a few things, which all made it better and all sort of contributed to a really good result.
Certainly not been a bad day at all. What's it like sitting in one of these little minis?
It's good fun. It's good fun. Very, very quick in a straight line. A little bit of handful through the corners.
They've got some go, haven't they? I've been watching them today, and they take off when you put your foot down.
Yeah. With the supercharger, it comes all the way from the bottom or pulls all the way through. So very impressed. Very happy with it.
Ben, what a fantastic start to the championship for you, kicking things off here at Anglesey with a win.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't actually know I'd won until we came over and he was shouting my name, so that was a nice little surprise.
Yeah, it's been a great drive all day for you guys in the R50s. What's it like sitting in this little mini with this man?
It's good. A little bit scary at times, but he's driven superb all day. It feels like it's on rails most of the time. So yeah, just enjoyable, to be honest. Enjoyable day.
Absolutely, we've heard lots and lots of tyre squealing from these cars all day, and it's fantastic to see so many out in this championship. Really well supported. We can see that Guy and Flo and the gang are doing a fantastic job. Moving on to the next round then for you guys now, is that the case?
Yeah, we're doing it, but we're not sure how competitive we'll be there because we've not done a pace note rally before, so that'll be a new experience, a big learning curve for us.